Now, good morning. I am here today to do another part of the Happy Habits content program. So far, what we've been looking at together is that we have talked about how our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions all influence each other, as we know, and also that usually the process of how that goes is that normally there's something that happens to us, and we call that a trigger in this context. So a trigger is literally just something happens, and when something happens, what follows is a thought. The automatic thought causes us to have the feeling that we have. So whatever we feel after something happens to us is actually a result of the automatic thought that we have. And then usually then, as a result of how we feel, that causes us to act or react or behave in a certain way because of based on whatever our feelings are. So that's the law of the body, but the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions as a cycle, which either one can affect each other, okay, it can go either way. There's not really a clear sign of start or finish. That is the internal cycle that is responsible for our well-being. And so far, what we've looked at is how, in order to promote the positive, healthy well-being that we want to achieve, the ways that we can do that is to consciously choose to challenge any automatic thoughts that are not serving us well, and to challenge any behaviors or actions that we have that perhaps aren't feeding our well-being in the healthiest way, if you like. So that's where we started off looking at. Then we brought on this introduction of there's a positive intention behind every thought, behind everything that we do. Subconsciously, even though these things are automatic and often are associated to negative annotations, like negative thinking or negative behaviors is usually the way they're phrased. Very often, there is a positive intention behind these things that we think and that we feel and that we do, because subconsciously our brains are hardwired for the best possible life that we can have in terms of survival and all that. So we want to reframe the way that we look at things. Oh, apologies, my phone wasn't on silent. I'll just put it on silent. So we want to reframe the way that we look at things. And when we establish that there's a positive intention behind it, we're a wee bit easier on ourselves, and that's great. And then that allows us then to come in with a more friendly way to gently challenge and change any thoughts and behaviours that we need to consciously, on purpose, in order to create new automatic habits, new positive, happy habits, as I talk about. But we need to consciously choose to do that and feed that to our brains. We need to tell our brains that this is how we want to think, and tell our brains that this is how we want to behave, and to reinforce that all of the time before that becomes our automatic, natural, okay, response to triggers. So today I want to talk about coming from that point of feelings. So if you remember a while back, I sent a summary page of thoughts, feelings, and actions, how they all influence each other. And I probably explained in the first week, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it again, but I probably explained when we first met that mostly in the content of the program, we don't always go in depth into the feeling part a lot, mainly because of the dynamic and the way that the group is delivered, and also because in groups and when we're online and different things, people can feel a bit vulnerable when it comes to addressing feelings. So I don't like to encourage us to just go all guns blazing into feelings if we're not feeling ready for that. But today, what I want to bring in is this technique of how to address feelings in a very subtle way that can be done in a matter of minutes, or that you can, have a prolonged amount of time to do if you prefer and if you wish. And so I'm going to talk through the demonstration of a type of meditation that I'm going to do, and I am then going to practice it and encourage you to join me now if you like, or you can watch the video another time when you get time and space to to do that, and do it in your own time, and then do it as often, as much or as little as you like, and make it as variable as needed to fit it into your own life and your own well-being. So that's what we're going to do today. But I just thought first that I would let you I would let you know a wee bit of insight into why I find this so essential, and how it's so significant that yes, we are managing our thoughts and managing our actions, because without doing that, without bringing in the counteractions, without kind of rebalancing the seesaw, if you like, with positive things, then the negative stuff just builds up and builds up and builds up and weighs us down. So we need to constantly always be challenging the thoughts, feeding the positive thoughts, bringing in the positive behaviours in order to have positive well-being. But it's essential as well that we don't skip over the feelings point, okay? So although I talk about it briefly in the setup of the way that this works, it's still important to recognise that sometimes it is, well, it's probably, a lot of people will argue that it is essential to do every day. And then a lot of other people have said to me, I don't have time to do that. Which is where challenging your thoughts and your actions comes in even easier and even handier. So I'm going to give you an example of how this was apparent for me this week, actually. So I had a marvellous day on Monday, but oh my God, was I busy. And I was running left, right and centre. Couple of things kind of threw me off track a wee minute, but because I was able to manage my thought patterns and manage my behaviours and choose the way they behave and choose what thoughts to employ in the moment, I was able to get on about my day, no bother. And then what happened was then I was finishing off this mad day with a programme delivery on Monday night, and on my way there I had a brick with my car, tyre busted, clean open, and instinctively I could feel the feelings bubbling of panic, of fear, of like, oh my God, I could have crashed, but I didn't, thank God. And I felt a wee bit shaky, but then automatically now, because I literally practice this stuff, okay, so automatically, and have been doing for 3 or more years, automatically I noticed that I felt overwhelmed and I felt afraid and I felt scared, and then I went, but what do I need to do right now? Because my automatic thought was, I can't get there. I'm not going to get to work now on time because my tire literally nearly blew off. So my automatic thoughts helped me to go, what do I need to do in this moment? I need to turn on my hazard lights. I need to contact the centre of where I'm going. I need to write into the group chat. There's a group chat there, obviously, and I need to write into the group chat and explain, I'm not going to be on time, I'm not there, this is why. What else do I need to do? Right, I need to try and see if I can get this tire changed. Oh no, I'm missing such and such a thing, and also didn't have the strength to undo the nuts. So what I do now, ring my boyfriend, right, grand, happy days, come to the rescue. So then eventually the time went by, and it went, oh no, I've missed a session, oh no, and all the automatic thoughts came up, and I went, okay, here's what I can do. I can encourage the people who are there to do something using the group chat, fine, no bother. Okay, so constant, in matters of seconds and minutes, I'm having all these conversations in my head, right? Sometimes I talk out loud to myself, you think I wasn't wise, but I am, I promise you. Although many people are unsure, but I swear to God. So this is going on in my head, and that being able to challenge them thoughts and stuff, and then they're helping me to stay calm and they're helping me to stay focused because I'm able to come up with new positive thoughts, right? And then because I have new positive thoughts that help me to stay calm, then I can act appropriately in that situation and get things done that need done, right? Instead of just sitting there crying, which I am not criticizing, which is essential and necessary, and that's going to be the point of my story in a wee minute. But I didn't do that at that time in that moment. And so anyway, long story short, ended up recording the session online, and instead, because I couldn't get there at the time of the session, everybody was understanding, challenged my automatic thoughts, oh no, what are they going to think of me? Thankfully, people are understanding, nobody thinks any bad of you, these things happen, right? Automatic thoughts, challenge, good, feel great. Go ahead, record the session, no bother, bye. Late into the next day, and because then I was home later than I needed to be, had to record the session that I should have done an hour ago, an hour later than I did it. That meant that I was behind on having to do my take work, what was due in the next morning, so I had to stay up late to do my take work. So then I slept on the next morning, and then that caused a whole manic of a day, and then I had to do this and I had to do that, and then I got this call and I had to do this, and then I was on my way and I was in a panic and I was on my way, and then I worked, started work there for about 8:30, started work and had no break, went straight from work to take, eating on the road at take until 8 o'clock at night, came home, cried. Just through the door, just cried. And what I needed to do in that moment was I needed to tune into how I was feeling, because I had so many things that I needed to do, and changing my thoughts and having positive behaviours helped me to get through and helped me to get by and helped me to get things done and helped me to stay focused and helped me all that. Positive. I didn't tune into my feelings. I didn't take time to tune into my feelings. So by the end of the Mad Tuesday then, I was feeling a wee bit overwhelmed. And perhaps if I had first of all seen how I felt after the wheel incident, I could have released that feeling first and not have felt overwhelmed into the next day. That's the possibility, that's the potential. So if we never take time to tune into how we feel, we aren't able to release it, and our feelings tell us what we need. So I was missing the fact that I needed a few minutes of quiet time, and what I did then was I went out last night without the dogs. I went out for myself and I went a wee walk, and I ended up just sitting down on a bench and watching the clouds go by the moon. And I did that for a wee of minutes, and I started to feel calm again, and I was able, because I tuned into what I felt overwhelmed, which was a build up from what had happened. I was able to recognise that I needed a few minutes just to feel that feeling and release it and let it go. When we don't feel our feelings and we can't release them, they build up and build up and build up and build up and build up. And in the way that I came home and cried without expecting to, it kind of just takes over us at some stage then when it builds up enough. So that is why today we're going to do a brief meditation type activity. And this is just about when we're mad. Like, I had 2 pack full days, and I preach all the time, feel your feelings when you feel them, it's okay to cry, all that stuff, because if we don't let it out of our body, it'll latch on and eventually manifest into physical pain and illness. Like, that actually is scientifically proven that happens. So I preach it all the time, but I'm aware that in real life, sometimes we do not find the time to tune into it, but it's still essential that we make that time. So that's what we're going to do here today. So you may wish to turn on some meditative music. The last time I tried to do it while recording, the music kind of interrupted me talking through the meditation. So I'm not going to play music today, but you may wish to have some meditative music. I have a wee aromatherapy balm here. I keep it here just for wee quick fixes of deep breathing. Because when we take a deep breath in and we fill our tummy with air and we exhale slower, then we inhale. We do that 3 times. Our brain gets the signal that says, I'm safe. So that is one quick example of something you can do at any time of day at all. That's not the meditative technique, but that is something just to be aware of. I keep this at my desk where I do all my work, and so I always see it and just big deep breath in, release, exhale longer than I breathed in, emptying the tummy with as much air as I can. 3 of those breaths, with or without a nice wee scent, and I start to feel more calm and more relaxed. Good morning, Grania. I hope you're well. So that is first of all what we want to do before we start any meditation, and also to help us take a few seconds to go, how do I feel? Okay, so that's what we want to do for the start of the meditation. Now, before we go through the next part, I'm going to just describe it first of all, and then I'll do it, okay? So I'm going to be sitting in my chair. I'll just move my chair back slightly. So now I'm able to have my feet firmly planted on the ground. Now, I didn't bring a blanket, but I'm wearing a poncho, which is as good as. So that'll do me. And I have just a wee, I don't know what you would call it. It's kind of a cushion type thing on the ground, and my feet are resting on there so that my feet aren't cold and that they're flat on the ground, okay? I'm going to sit back in my chair. Good morning, Irene. So we're just getting ready for meditation. So I'm sitting back in my chair. I'm doing my 3 deep breaths, and then through the meditation, what I'm going to be doing and what I will talk through is I am going to firmly press my feet onto the ground while thinking of an emotion. Okay, so first we do our deep breaths, we ask ourselves, how do I feel? Then, with that feeling that we recognize, we imagine that we're pressing that feeling deep into the ground and tensing our feet up through the whole of our legs and our thighs, all through our bum, all through our back, all through our belly, all through our arms, all up to our head. Tense, 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 tense. And then we're going to release all the way back down again. Releasing all the way back down, release, release, release. Okay? So when we allow ourselves to feel the feeling with the tension, very often we're afraid that that feeling is going to consume us and we're not going to come back from it. But actually what happens is we have a natural ability to regulate when we allow ourselves to feel the full extent of the feeling. That's why they try to overtake us whenever we ignore them. That's why I came through the door and just randomly started crying, because the feeling was trying to say, hello, you need to feel me, you need to feel me. So if I don't do that consciously, it takes charge. Okay, so this is why we want to do this feeling part on purpose too. So that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to sit for a few moments. We're going to try and focus on our breath as we meditate, and we're going to imagine, I'm going to talk through, I'm going to imagine a white light coming into my body and filling me with relaxation and calmness, and just taking any leftovers of that emotion that we had and sending that out through our body then. Alright, so let's get rested. Let's go from the top. We'll only need a few minutes. My feet are firmly on the ground. The lower of my back is firmly against my chair. I'm going to keep my arms rested, and there may be times when I encourage you to rub your hands, place them in your heart, place them in your hands. But what I'm going to do instead of sticking to a strict script is see how the flow goes, okay? So first of all, I have my incense because this helps me with my breathing and my calmness. I'm going to take a big deep breath in. Fill the tummy up with air and release. Emptying the tummy, letting it come all the way in to get the breath out. One more breath in through the nose. Tummy fills up with air and release. Now I'm asking, how do I feel? What is a feeling that I would like to release in this moment? Another big deep breath in. And out. You may use hand cream, you may use wee balms on your wrists, anything that suits you for that exercise. I'm going to rest my arms down either on the arms of your chair or on your thighs. My palms are facing up towards the ceiling. And if you haven't already, then shut down your eyes and just slowly allow yourself to start to sink into your chair. So we'll keep the focus on our breath. Big deep breath in and out. Big deep breath in. How do I feel? Now, if I recognize an emotion that causes me any distress or pain. I'm going to invite that emotion now to come forward. So what is that emotion that I feel? Today I feel a touch of sadness. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to encourage the sadness. Now you may have another emotion to fill me up. I'm going to begin by pressing my feet firmly into the ground, tensing my feet, filling myself up with this emotion, tensing my calves, tensing my thighs, tensing my bum, feeling the tension rise through my lower back, all through my upper arms. My shoulders are tense. I'm intentionally tensing these body parts. My chest is tense. My forearms and hands and fingers and neck is tense. My jaw is tense. My face and head is tense as I fill up with the feeling of sadness. For as much as I need to let myself be consumed, double it, allow it to overwhelm. And when I'm ready to release, I release the muscles of my forehead, my cheeks, my jaw. I release my neck, my shoulders. I release my arms. I release my hands. I release my chest, back, bum, all down my legs. Nice and slowly, one muscle at a time, purposely being released and relaxed right down to my feet. A big deep breath in, and I feel the need to repeat the process today. So I'm going to repeat that process. I'm going to tense my feet and tense my calves, tense my thighs, tense my bum, tense my lower back, tense my upper back, shoulders, neck, arms, hands, fists, stomach, chest, jaw, face, and release. Eyebrows relaxed, cheek relaxed, lips relaxed, jaw, neck, shoulders relax, your back relaxes, your bum relaxes, your hands release, your shoulders relax, intentionally relaxing your thighs, your calves and your feet. Now, with my eyes continuing to be closed as I focus on my breath, I imagine now as I breathe in happiness, calmness and joy. I breathe in gratitude and I exhale any leftover unnecessary amounts of sadness that no longer serve me. As I breathe in, I relax deeper and deeper into my chair. I relax further and further down. Every individual muscle is allowed to relax. I notice my feet firmly on the ground. I notice my bum and back securely supported by the chair. I am safe. I am safe to relax. I am safe to release this emotion. Now, with every inhale breath you take, picture a beaming white light filling you up from the top of your head. With every inhalation, you breathe in relaxation, you breathe in joy, you breathe in calm serenity. The white light appears on the top of your head, moving down through your forehead, over your crown, through your eyebrows. Your eyebrows relax deeper and deeper. Your eyes relax more now. Relaxing into your cheeks, unclenching and letting go of our jaw. Feeling this white light fall down through my neck as it becomes more relaxed and I release any more eminence of sadness that I feel. The white light washes now over my shoulders. I'm filled from my head to my shoulders now with this white, pure light filling me up. Relax my shoulders, relax my arms. Feel the white light as it travels under my chest, filling my heart with love and joy and relaxation and happiness. Serenity and calmness now beats from my heart through every single vein and particle of my body, washing down into my tummy, washing down through my back as I relax more and more, down through my bum, through my hips and in my thighs, pushing out any sadness that no longer serves me in this moment, through my knees and in my calves, down to my ankles and into my feet. I am now completely filled through my arms to my fingertips, from the top of my head to the bottoms of my toes, with this beaming, pure white light that fills my heart. It fills my heart with happiness and joy and pumps it through my blood into every particle of my being. This beaming white light pushes out the emotion of sadness that no longer serves me, out through the bottoms of my feet, deep down into the ground. I feel myself connected with the earth and remember that we are one and we are safe. Allow yourself to sit in this beaming white light for another moment. Taking a big deep breath in and out, and in and out. And as our breathing returns to its natural pace, remember that you store this white light of love and joy, relaxation and happiness now in your heart. And we can call upon this again at any time that we require any emotion that no longer serves us to be released. Remembering that you're safe to relax, to feel all the emotions you need to feel and to release them. Take a moment of gratitude for this moment. When we're ready, in your own time, we want to wiggle our toes, wiggle our fingers, then bring our hands together in prayer position and rub our hands together, remembering the power of the white light. Place your hands on your heart as you feel the warmth of the experience. Have a moment of gratitude for yourself and for all that you do for you. Hands on your eyes. And back down to your thigh or arm of your chair. And with your fingers and toes wiggling, when you're ready to just gently blink open your eyes, we can come back to where we are. I actually forgot that I was on camera there, although I was aware that I was talking out loud. Now, just take as much time as you need to come back into the room. Noticing what you can see, what colours are available to you, what's in front of you, what can you smell, what can you taste, what can you feel. Is it warm? Is it cold? Here I am now, present in this moment, ready to start the rest of today. Okay, that is a wee practice for you. What is also possible is that we do not always need to demonstrate the full extent of what we've just practiced. We can very simply, sitting at a desk or at any moment in time, tense all of our muscles, and release them, and that can be enough. Tense a muscle, release a muscle. Tense a muscle, release a muscle. We don't always have to go through all of them. You can tense your fist. You can tense any one muscle, but tense with intention and relax with intention. That is something you can incorporate into every day if you wish. So simplify it down. Use it any more in depth if you need to. And take the time to tune into how you're feeling. Alright, thank you very much for today. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you again.